Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to today's session. This session is organized by AAA Foundation through the WeRise project. It is truly a pleasure to have you all here. So you can let us know from the comment section where you are, your name, and where you are. So I'm Priscilla, and I'll be your host for today. Joining me as a co host is Precious. At AAA Foundation, our goal is to create a world where every individual, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to live an empowered and fulfilling life. We are committed to supporting young people by providing opportunities, mentorship, skills training, and leadership development that help them overcome challenges and build brighter future. Can you hear me? Oh, okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the WeRise project is part of this mission. Through the WeRise project, we organize events like this. We organize impactful sessions that will equip young people with practical skills, knowledge, and support in areas such as leadership, entrepreneurship, digital literacy, and personal development. So today, our topic is very, very important because many young people are constantly balancing a lot of things: academic responsibilities, entrepreneurship, leadership roles, and personal growth. We often, without taking care of our mental health, we take a lot of responsibilities. So today, that's what we are going to look at. And today, our session is titled Mindfulness for Young Leaders. So, practical stress management techniques for academic and entrepreneurial pressure. So this conversation will help us understand how mindfulness can help us manage stress, stay focused, build resilience, and become healthier and more effective leaders. So my co-host will introduce our guests so that we move on to our discussion.
All right. Thank you so much, Priscilla. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
All right. Thank you. So I am Precious Nthondowa. I'm excited today to be your co-host, especially on this topic on mindfulness for young leaders. Um, Today we are very honored to have our guest, um, Monica Amable. So I'm gonna just say a brief introduction of who she is. Of course, I'm also going to give her the floor to introduce herself. So Monica is a passionate about youth development, leadership, and mental awareness. Through her work and experiences, she has continued to inspire young people to prioritize their personal growth, emotional well being, and resilience while pursuing academic as well as entrepreneurial success. Her advocacy for mindfulness and intentional living makes her a perfect fit for today's discussion, and we are excited to learn from her insights and practical experiences. So please join me as I warmly welcome Monica Amable. So the floor is yours. Um, you may take your time and introduce yourself as well.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you. I think the introduction actually did justice to who I am and what I do. And today, I would just like to mention that I am here not as a therapist nor a psychologist, but I am here as someone who has, beyond or more than 20 decades, has had a mind of my own and has had to manage my well-being alongside my pursuits. And so I'm looking forward to the conversation. I'm looking forward to learning from you as I share my personal experience as well. Professionally, I'm the administrator of the West Africa Women Speakers Forum, which is a public speaking forum for young women across West Africa. I also double as the administrator of the Boost Jackie English Language Scholarship for young women from Francophone Africa to spend 6 months in Ghana. Once again, it's a pleasure to join you all. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Monica, for such a beautiful introduction of yourself. Um, So, without wasting much of our time, I think we need to begin our discussion. But to make our discussion interactive and engaging, we'll have a guided discussion with questions from the hosts, and after which we open the floor for the audience to also participate or maybe comment or bring in questions. So let me pass it to Priscilla to take us to lead us in this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I knew about you already, but hearing from you, I'm amazed. Without further ado, the first thing I would want to know, we would all want to know, is mindfulness. What does mindfulness mean in the context of young leadership today? What does it mean?
Okay, thank you for the question. And I think that this is a conversation that is very relevant to our dispensation, given that we find ourselves caught up in so many things, doing so many things, even at a relatively earlier age compared to generations before us. So it's very good that we define what mindful and what that expects of us so that we can thrive in our various fields. So for me, mindfulness practically is being present, being aware of what is going on in the present. A lot of the times to do, we tend to do things we do on autopilot. We are not too present. We just get life running in the direction that we ourselves seem to not have control over, right? So for me, mindfulness is basically being fully present, and that means you have to be self-aware. And that cuts across how you think, how you act, how you talk, how you lead. It's very important. I would also want to add that the reality is the noun soon gets locked up in history, which means that as far as dispensation is concerned, one of the times that we really need to take good care of and be intentional about is the present. Because whatever we do in the present becomes what is our past, and whatever we do in the present also informs the future that we have. So it's very important that as young leaders in whatever space we serve, whatever we do, is very important that we live in the present rather than being anxious about the future, or on the other side being anxious about our past that is haunting us, or maybe so basically mindfulness means being fully present, aware of what is going on around me. That also means paying attention to your emotions per time, paying attention to what you need to prioritize at the moment. What was a necessity in one dispensation or one era of your life might not be the thing that needs your attention most in another era. So it's very important that as we journey across the various phases of our lives, it's very important that we pay attention to what is going on so that we are fully able to maximize the opportunities that each dispensation presents us.
Thank you very much for that insight. So, mindfulness just basically means being fully present, both emotionally, physically. You have to be present. You do not have to take care of so much. You have to be present. Okay. Thank you very much for that insight. We really appreciate it. So, the audience, if you have anything to say, you can drop it in the comment section. We will read it out. If you have a question, you can put it there and we read it out as well. The conversation still continues. So the next question is, why are academic and entrepreneurial pressure increase among young people? Why does it increase among young people?
Well, admits to the fact that academic and entrepreneurial pressure is on the rise among young people, specifically in this era, because we all have high expectations from school, from family, from social media, from society. And a lot of the times we tend to compare ourselves unnecessarily with people we are not supposed to. Social media is on the rise. And one thing about social media is people tend to show you the glamorous aspects of their lives on social media. They share the beautiful pictures. Some are even living fake lives on social media. And feeding on all of these posts and the things we come across online gives younger people the sense of, I need to get there fast, I need to get there overnight, I need to catch up, I am behind my colleagues, I'm behind my peers. And this is really mounting on them pressure that is highly avoidable, right? So for me, I think that one of the main sources of the pressure or the stress that young people are facing is comparison where they shouldn't be comparing. And this comparison is deriving its it's been derived from what they see on social media, what they see others do, which might not necessarily be their lived experience on daily basis. But again, like I said, people are selective on what they show on the socials. They show you what they want you to believe about them, which might not necessarily be the case, right? And another thing that I would want to admit is that right now, especially in our context in Africa, your youthful stage is structured such that a lot is demanded from you if you are going to excel. What I mean by that is, probably you are probably in school, but because you don't have the support from home, which is the case for many people, you have to juggle many other things on the side for survival. So some people have to run into entrepreneurship, not really each idea that will save the world, but because of survival, right? So people have to do so many things on the side for survival. Sometimes one is not even enough. So, for instance, someone is selling clothes, is creating content, is doing this alongside pursuing a degree. So, the edge for survival is really pushing young people to things that they shouldn't have cluttered their lives with. But again, survival is essential. So, as to whether that's the right thing to do, that conversation here. But what I am pointing out to is the fact that the pressure, the high expectation, the need for survival is pushing young people into so many things. It's like they're leaving so many tabs open. And that is really, for me, the reason for the rise in the pressure, the increase in the pressure for young people. Like, people even necessarily give themselves um unnecessarily give themselves pressure to catch up with the life of someone else. And that really means that it's important that young people define for themselves what success is early enough. With that in place, you know what additional thing you can take on that will not overwhelm you. You know what success should look like already. You have the image of what it should look like. So if someone else is showing you something on social media and that does not align with your expectations, then it's not supposed to go after chasing that, right? The other reality that I need to admit is, sometimes even when you're applying for a job, maybe they advertise a vacancy for an administrator, but they expect you to be a graphic designer, they expect you to be all of the things in the world. But it's about time we get realistic with ourselves, that there's room to be specialists at whatever you want to do. And that also means that even in the application, in applying in the first place, you should do your own screening. Does this align with what success look like for me? Does this align with my strengths so far? Does this align with my area of interest? Is this within my scope, or this is pushing me to become a generalist when I am supposed to be specialist? I would just want to add that I admit that there is a special caliber of people that we call multi potentialites, right? Multi potentialite. These are people that are able to do a lot of things together, yet still do them well. But the reality is, this caliber of people are few. So their lifestyle should not push all of us to becoming like them. No, if you are supposed to be specialist, if you are best, I mean, if you are at your best when you focus on one thing, it's important that you continue to be at your best and do it the best way, world class level, so that no one beats you at it, right? So what I'm admitting is that lifestyle is pushing young people into so many things just to fit in, just to be adaptable enough. But it's also important to admit some of the repercussions of these kinds of decisions, so that we make informed decisions, knowing that you can be schooling and be an entrepreneur, but it has implications. It places demand on the use of your time, the use of your resources, and so many other things. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, basically, do not let social media pressure you. Don't let social media pressure you. Thank you very much. So, whenever you are applying for a job, ask yourself, does this align with what success look like for me? So, know what you're good at and go for it. Thank you very much, Miss Monica, for letting us know this. It really helps. Thank you. So the next question would be asked by my co-host, and we look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Priscilla. And thank you, Monica, for sharing the things that are making most youth um, to feel pressured. So the next question is, what are the early signs that a young leader is becoming overwhelmed or stressed, or how can you tell that someone is um, being stressed?
Okay, so signs that a young leader is being overwhelmed. Basically, um, he or she has too many standing orders that he can't realistically fulfill, because time is limited. So when you tend to put in too many things into your time basket, uh, you get to overwhelm yourself, and realistically you probably might not be able to do all of that, right? And the mere fact that you are not able to do all that you set out to do, that actually has a lot of impact on you. Sometimes you begin to accept that I'm a failure, because maybe you have clashing meetings, again, because you just accept a lot of responsibility on you to be all over the place, right? But the fact that you didn't show up for that meeting will have a toll on you, and you're now thinking, maybe I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. It's not necessarily that you are not good at it, but it is that you have overcluttered your life, so that you are not able to focus and maximize the things that you should be giving your life to, right? So you begin to see that they are falling short of the things that they are supposed to be doing, and this falling shorts informs or creates in them a certain mindset that eventually becomes their approach to life, right? Which is definitely not in the good direction. So for me, of someone being to do and something you're even overwhelmed, you don't know where to start from, you don't know how to even prioritize the things, it means it's probably an indicator enough that you are accepting too many things that you should be saying no to, right? um for the specific other specific symptoms vary across the individuals of concern. Some people tend to be emotionally absent. They don't care about what is going on anymore. They're just walking through life, like they're just strolling their way through life. I don't care, like whatever can come can come. Some people are not able to sleep because again, the overload even affects their sleep time, right? Sometimes you have to intentionally sacrifice your sleep in order to catch up, but you can't continue to sacrifice your sleep every day in attempt to catch up. Some, even though they dedicate time for the sleep, you're on the bed and you are planning so many things on the bed when the bed was supposed to be a time for you to rest, right? So you have issues with your sleep. Sleep is supposed to be a quality time of refresh, like being refreshed, but because you have a lot of activities still going on in your mind, that window for rest, you miss out on it, right? Others tend to procrastinate because you really have a lot to do, and you're like, okay, let me hold on a bit, I'll do it later, I'll do it. But the truth is that you are stressed by the workload on you, you are stressed by it, so you don't even know where to start from. Like, we've all been students before. There are times where getting close to the exams, if you haven't prepared enough, or if it's a course that is really demanding yet you haven't covered enough of the modules, you are before your slides, you are before your handouts, and you don't know which of the topics to even start from, right? That even that even affects you a lot. But it's really not about the course as much as it is about how much load you have accepted on yourself. That same course, if you had started studying it early enough, you would have covered so much and wouldn't need to do a lot at the latter end towards exams. So for me, the specific signs vary across individuals and also depending on how long you have been in the stress situation. But these are some of the general signs that indicate the fact that someone is stressed. They just feel unmotivated about anything. It's like, well, I've seen it all. I have a lot to do. I don't know where to start from. I don't care. The extreme instances are where some actually fall sick bodily out of stress, which this is something we wouldn't wish for anybody, even our worst enemies, right? So it's important that we take measures to avoid these instances.
All right. Thank you so much for putting that out. Oftentimes, maybe people may find themselves rescheduling their activities or maybe being confused, not knowing what to start with. Um, so, yeah, thanks for pointing that out, that those are the signs that one is being overwhelmed, because sometimes maybe a person may not be self-aware of maybe what's happening to them. So thank you for putting out those signs. I hope the participants, it's going to be helpful to some of them, even to some of us, that we didn't know that, okay, I think when we're facing this sign means we're stressed or we're overwhelmed. So thank you so much for that. For the next
Thank you
question
too.
now, pass it to my host. Thank you.
So I can actually relate with what you said. Being a student and not learning enough. Yeah, I know that feeling. Well, thank you for letting us know that it's not helpful. So our next question is there a chance that you can share a simple mindfulness technique we can use in 2 minutes so that we will be released of stress? under 2 minutes. Is there a technique like that that would help us?
Okay, thank you. Based on my definition of mindfulness, I don't know of a 2 minute technique because mindfulness literally means that you should be present. It means that you should be present across every phase of your life. So I just want to check on that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, right. So I was saying that on the premise that mindfulness means being self aware, there is no window for that. So to recommend a 2 minute strategy wouldn't be appropriate on my part or will be contradicting the premise for this discussion, right? Rather, I would say that it's important for all of us to dare to know what is going on at every stage of our lives. It's important for us to be present, study your emotions so that you know what this kind of emotion is pointing me to do, right? So generally, when it comes to mindfulness, it's an everyday thing. Whatever you are doing, you're supposed to do it mindfully. Observe your emotions. What does this tell me? What is this pointing to? What is this indicating, right? Being self-aware, and you would agree with me that this is not something that we should leave to a 2 minute window, right? So for me, this is where I stand. However, there are techniques that help to relieve stress, right? Such as taking a deep breath when you feel overwhelmed. For that, it has it's simple but has proven effective on so many instances when tried. Sometimes when you're even called to speak, I mean, a lot of us have stage fright, but a deep breath would take care of that, right? So being stressed, taking a deep breath of relaxation is very important. Therapy recommend what is called a body scan, where it's recommended that you lie straight and like walk through every part of your body in your mind, right? So use your mind to walk through every part of your body from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, being present. Again, trying to know what is going on in this part of my body, what is going on. The mere fact is like telling your hands, I care about you, telling your knees, I care about you, then telling your feet, I care about you.
Priscilla, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. It seems we've lost her for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've
So
lost
if
her.
you have a question, you can put it in the comment section. We read it. Let me contact her and let's see. Okay, so while we wait, I think we should read some comments here. So Mr. Fua says, last minute studying. Last minute studying. Yes, very true. Last minute studying. I do that a lot. And she says, that breathing in and breathing out causes me. Yes, yes. Me too. It does. Well, when she comes back, we'll ask how we work on that. Maybe like this would be fine. But that's what I do mostly when I'm anxious, when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, which is basically a lot of times. I do that. I breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and pretend that what I'm feeling is not real. So maybe you can try that. So first I do. So I try to relax, pretend that whatever I'm going through is not real. Oh, Precious, what of you? What do you think? How do you manage your stress?
So I'm a gamer, so sometimes when I'm stressed, the best I can do is, yeah, play some games. Because video games are uh, quite challenging sometimes. So yeah, when you're stressed, they help you to think outside the box. So yeah, I
But
play
won't you
games,
be
and
more
sometimes I
stressed when
like
you're
to.
losing? When you're
Uh,
playing the
I
video game and you're losing, won't you be more stressed?
well, when I'm losing, it increases the stress, but I do my best not to lose.
Okay, maybe I'll try that one. Play video game. Yeah,
I'm
I
back.
think I'll try that. Yeah,
Sorry
it's good
about
to
that.
have you
My
back.
network. Hello, Priscilla. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Sorry, my network went off, but I'm back now. Did you get my response to the question asked, or I'll need to retake that?
I think you were in the middle of it.
Okay, so in a nutshell, what I was saying is that mindfulness is a lifelong activity, and we're supposed to be present, journeying with ourselves every stage of our lives, every day, every minute, every time, knowing what is going on per time, what you are supposed to prioritize per time. And when I was also recommending some stress releasing strategies or stress relieving strategies, which I said one of the most common ones is taking a deep breath. When you feel you're stressed, just focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. The mere fact of focusing on your breath alone communicates a lot to your nerves, and that keeps you calm. And I was also saying that it's been one of the most recommended strategies for those who mount up public stages. If you have stage fright, take a deep breath, and that brings your body back home, right? So, apart from that, I also mentioned that specialists recommend what is called body scanning, where you lie down, not thinking about anything, your mind is not roaming anywhere, but you are basically just walking through every part of your body from head to toe to know what is this part of my body telling me, right? It's like you're paying visits to all the organs of your body, and that is quite difficult to do. But then at the end of the day, it pays. You know what your lung is telling you, what your knee is telling you, what your toes are telling you, what your head is telling you, right? So these are some of the strategies that helps you to calm down, but we shouldn't take this interim strategies as long term practices, so that you always need to rely on a strategy at every point. Like the way some people overdose paracetamol, they take it like it's water. It shouldn't be so. These are to be used as and when it's necessary, but let's rather focus on living a more conscious and intentional life where we wouldn't be caught up in so much of stress. Stress is not entirely avoidable, but some level of it can be avoided with the right strategies and right activities in place. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we know that breathing in, breathing out helps. And then you have to scan your body, know what this one is doing, know what this one is doing. Oh, okay, I think we'll add that. But I think we have a question. Um, Someone says that breathing in and breathing out causes me more stress. How do I work on that? So the breathing
Okay.
in and breathing out, it causes the person more stress.
Okay, so I the breathing in and the breathing out, you would agree with me that it's not what is causing the stress. But if you are doing that and your mind is still fixed on what is causing the stress, then that will definitely not yield the result it's supposed to yield. So while you are breathing in and breathing out, your focus should come to the breath, not what is not the stress factor. So if you are doing all of this, you are doing body scanning, but yet your mind is still on the stress factor, you're not really helping yourself. So it's important where the mind is while you even do these activities, right? So again, on the breathing in activity, you have to just focus on your breath, focus on the air going in and coming out, nothing more than that. Even when you do that, even right now, you could sense a bit of relief, right? So when you do that
Yeah,
more
yeah,
intentionally,
right.
yeah, yeah, when you do that more intentionally, not being concerned about the externalities, what is causing the stress, you should see the result. But again, like I said, these are interim strategies, so they are not supposed to become what we depend on for a lifetime, that all the time you are breathing in. And no, it shouldn't be so. As and when you are at your peak with stress, or as and when you feel stressed, you do that to calm down temporarily while you switch to the right thing that you are supposed to be doing, right? I hope that helps.
Yeah, that is clear. Thank you very much. So, Miss Ifua, I think when you're breathing in and out, you're supposed to think of your breath, not the stress. So, next time, think of the breath, not the stress. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, our next question will be asked by my co host.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Uh, so yeah, you've talked a lot and how someone can use some techniques in mindfulness. So, um, since we're discussing about students and entrepreneurs, so in a case where someone has an exam or maybe some business tasks, how do you think mindfulness um, can improve their focus?
All right. So what I would say in that regard is that when you are mindful about your life, you are able to prioritize what matters most per each moment, right? With that in place, what you are doing is you are reducing mental clutter. Like you don't have a lot of things going on in your mind. Sometimes that even our devices, our laptops become slow when we have too many tabs open, too many things going on, right? But if you are mindful, you know that this moment is my exams week. I am supposed to be preparing or revising for my exams. This is not the time that I'm planning my friend's birthday party, and I am planning this other thing, I am planning that other thing, I am planning that other thing, right? So you will single out preparation for your exams as the primary or the main thing that you are supposed to focus on for that time period. With that declutter, with that focus already in place, you're able to single-handedly do that task, right? It is said that, I think studies has proven that usually multitasking actually takes us more time to do than when we focus on one task per time. So when you're mindful about your life, you set the priorities right. You know what I am supposed to be giving my attention and resource to at this particular window. And so you are able to do that so well. You're able to prepare so well for your exams. You're able to carry out or plan that business task so well if you are mindful enough about it. Another thing that mindfulness does is that it even brings to bear the details to the activity. Because you are zeroing in on one thing or a few things at a time, you are able to pay attention to the detailed requirements of those things. And with you paying attention to the detailed requirements, it means nothing will skip you, nothing would, you wouldn't later come and say, oh, I wish I knew. But you've given all your time to focusing on this one thing, opening the tabs, double clicking on the various things and knowing that okay, this requires me to do this requires me to do that. So you are focusing all your energy on that one thing or those few things, even if it's not one, and that alone helps you to do what you are doing very well. So for me, I find mindfulness tying in very closely with focusing as you prepare for your exams and as you carry out any specific business task of concern. It helps you to make better decisions, to deliver better results because you focus your energy on that thing that is at hand.
All right. Thank you so much for your great response. I think one thing that I've taken is you mentioned about preparedness, like maybe in case of an exam, like you need to prepare for it, other than maybe working in pressure or preparing in pressure, because that might actually bring a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for um, responding to that question. So let me pass it to my colleague. Priscilla, you're mute.
Thank you very much for that. Mindfulness helps us make better decisions. Yeah, I agree. That's true. So as you are making good decisions, how how can young entrepreneurs handle no, I think what practical strategies can help students manage academic pressure without them burning out? What can they do? What can they do?
All right. Okay. So right now I'm speaking from the perspective of having been a student, and I'm actually currently a student. I'm doing my MBA. So when it comes to practical strategies to help students to avoid burnout, one of the things that is really we all know but probably don't do is scheduling. Scheduling. You have to, that's why we are giving academic calendar, we are giving, I mean, even the course, we know what time we have this call, we have this lecture, we have that lecture, we have that, all these schedules are given to us to help us to also have our own schedule, right? So I would recommend to any student listening to me right now to take your personal scheduling seriously. Schedule around your courses, pace out your studies. Don't wait till it's last minute before you are now opening or seeing some topic in the slide for the first time. No, it shouldn't be. It should be that I understand realistically that usually during revision week, I think that the capacity of the mind becomes more alert to absorb more. But that ability is to be used for revision, not that it's now that you are discovering the thing for the first time. So it's important that you have a clear schedule of your personal study, not just your lecture times, right? So when you go for a lecture, I'm going to revise what was taught on this the other day at this particular time. So have a clear schedule for your personal task. Tying in closely with this is deadlines for assignments. It's as if when we are giving deadlines, it's like that's the day that they want us to do that thing. But deadlines is like, this is the limits beyond which you shouldn't go. It's not like, if the deadline is 25th, it's not saying get the work done on 25th. Some people even wait till last minute, assuming the deadline is 11:59 on 25th. It's 11:58 that someone is now submitting the assignment. Someone is now having issues with, I'm opening the portal, it's not working. All of this, you're just accumulating unnecessary stress for yourself. Probably this assignment was given 3 weeks earlier, 2 weeks earlier, 3 days earlier, definitely earlier than the time you are submitting it, right? So with a clear schedule in place, with a clear action plan in place, you would have uh, attacked, or you would have carried out that same assignment bit by bit at a more relaxed pace, not compiling stress for yourself. So it's important that we put this into practice, right? Another thing that personally worked for me, I actually studied accounting at the University of Ghana, and I can say with confidence, I mean, it's a past thing, it's a fact that I graduated with a first class. How did I do that? Group work was really, um, group studies, I mean, was really helpful to me. So I had a very small group, three maximum, usually two, where we study together. So when a thing is difficult, we've been to the lectures, all right. But sometimes after the lecture, you go back to the slide and you are like, hey, did the lecturer actually mention this in class? Right. So, but with a team, a smaller team, one that will not become conversations upon conversations, no, one that is focused on getting the tasks done. With a smaller team in place, you're able to discuss, you're able to bring contributions from different perspectives to that difficult topic or subject. And that really helps to simplify what was once so difficult, you don't know where to start from, with contributions from your friends, I mean your team. You will realize that this thing actually becomes simpler to understand and to relate to, right? So I would recommend a study group. For me, maximum has been three for an effective team that I have belonged to as far as studies is concerned. I'm not saying do a friend through a friend's party so that you are like 15 people, you get together and uh, can we continue? This person said, hey, I had a question on that. Meanwhile, this is the third time you are repeating that line or that sentence in the slide, but somebody is still having a question of that one. You would end up wasting a lot of time. There's room for those large group discussions, but it should be once in a while. And that should, even for me personally, I usually join those large groups when I know that I have already studied enough and that I am just there for any addition from anybody. Fine, but the core of my studies is really done with my inner caucus. And that, for like I said, it helps to simplify the course even though it's difficult, but you get to discuss. And yeah, and it makes it easier for you to grasp the concepts, right? um Another thing to that's essential as far as managing pressure, academic pressure is concerned, is rest. I'm not saying you should sleep all your day at school. I'm not saying that you should become a sleeping beauty because you want to rest. But rest is actually, or rest exists for a reason, right? Sometimes all you need is sleep, and you wake up with a refreshed mind, renewed energy to approach that same thing better and stronger. So do your schedule all right, but make room for enough rest, enough underline. Not in excess, but it shouldn't be under as well. Because if you are denying yourself, depriving yourself of sleep, it eventually affects your focus, your ability to focus, because it's like you are not getting refreshed. You are just continuing from where you left off, continuing from where and things pile up on your mind. So it's important that as students, you prioritize rest, enough rest in quotes. That also means that, especially during exams or close to exams, your schedule should still be generous enough to accommodate enough sleep so that you are able to focus and able to revitalize yourself to pick up and prepare for the next paper or so that you may have. Again, it's important to avoid last minute studying. We all know that it's not good for us. You all know, for the times that you have done last minute studies, you know how much pressure it puts on you. Sometimes you are even feeling it at your heart that this one, I have really stretched the boundaries, I've stretched the limits, I've pushed too much. So it's important that you pace out your studies. That's why we have a semester is usually 3 months to study that course. Don't reduce the 3 months to 1 week or even one day when exams is at hand. So it's important to space out your study. Sometimes you can just take short breaks in between the studies. um Short breaks in between your studies to allow you to freshen up. It can be that you walk outside to see what's happening outside, you come back refreshed to continue. It can be that you take a break from studies to go and cook or to visit a friend briefly. It should be an intentional break, but it's important that you don't spend all the time with a book, morning to evening, in pursuit of an A. The A is important, but it has to be pursued in the right way, right? Also, if all of these, if after applying all of this, you still have persistent challenges with academic pressure, you are still struggling. I think most of the schools or universities in Ghana have provision for counseling session. Personally, I went to University of Ghana, so we have the careers and counseling units. It will be recommended that you speak to a counselor, either in the school or you get a personal counselor that you speak to on what works best for you. It could be factors beyond all that we have mentioned that is causing it. So if you have done all the right things you know how to do, but the academic pressure is so overwhelming you, it's like you are getting out of your senses. If it has gotten to that stage, it's important that you see an expert to advise you on what to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I feel like you're speaking to me directly, but shall be well. So, last minute learners, this is for you. Schedule your time very well and rest. Do not limit the 3 month course to just 1 week. Just look at the slide. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that insightful answer. The next questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Monica, for tackling on that question. Yeah, you've really talked a lot on how students can practice mindfulness and manage the stress and pressure. So now let's go to entrepreneurs. We're living in a world where um, young people are not just getting education, maybe to be employed or to get jobs, but I think in the past it was maybe the older people who were in business, but right now it's the young people who are doing a lot of business that have ventured into uh, entrepreneurship. But saying the truth, the business industry is very crazy. It's so unpredictable. Um, so what can you say to a young entrepreneur out there or someone who aspires to be an entrepreneur on how well, maybe they can handle their uncertainty or setbacks so that they shouldn't lose motivation?
Sure, thank you for the question. So, if you've been an entrepreneur before, you would admit that there is no entrepreneurial journey without setbacks, without unpredicted or unpredictable challenges. It's like every day is a blank page and anything else can show up at any time at all, right? But this should be approached, or entrepreneurship should be approached from the disposition that setbacks and challenges are opportunity for growth, opportunity to innovate, opportunity to address those or to leverage on them, right? In the first place, becoming an entrepreneur means that you are setting out to address a challenge, right? So if you are setting out to address a challenge, it shouldn't be news when you're encountering challenges on your journey to addressing those challenges. So psych up fully prepared that I'm going to have challenges thrown at me every single day as an entrepreneur. Now, what that also means is that when those challenges are thrown at you, it's not really whether your business model is solid enough or whether you have a business. It's not really about that as much as it is about you learning from those challenges, you evolving, and you becoming better after addressing that challenge. So for me, the whole journey, the whole ecosystem of entrepreneurship is a journey to address challenges. So you should enter prepared to meet challenges. That should be the mindset. When you meet them, how you respond to them is where the difference lies, right? So in it for the long term, challenges would come, but it's important that as an entrepreneur, you prepare to address those challenges as they come, rather than giving up on your idea because challenges are thrown at you. Robin Sharma said one thing in the 5 a.m. club that challenges are actually, and I'm paraphrasing, not quoting, challenges just tell us how much you are willing to pursue what you set out to pursue. So challenges are not saying no, don't pursue it, but they just tell us the extent to which you as an individual are willing to pursue what you set out to pursue. So if you met a challenge on the way, so you give up on being an entrepreneur, then it means that you are not really in for that entrepreneurship thing, right? Maybe you just had a dream and then the next day we are seeing you doing publicity. But if you confront that challenge and you overcome it, it tells us that really you are in it for the problem that you are solving rather than the fancy nature of entrepreneurship. I would also want to touch on the fact that right now entrepreneurship has become like a fanciful tag where people want to introduce themselves as founder and CEO, founder and CEO, founder and CEO. So that's really the drive that I want to be seen as a young person, but I'm founder and CEO. If it's really from that perspective, then we are not firm enough to uh, confront the challenges that it will throw at us. But if it is from the perspective that I am in this to address a challenge, then where you face a setback, you would still find an opportunity to evolve and become better than you were even before that setback came, right? So there is this concept of anti fragility or anti-fragility, depending on how you prefer to mention it. And the concept is just saying that where you go through difficulties, the difficulties that you have gone through should make you stronger and better. And for me, I would say that all entrepreneurs are supposed to have the anti-fragile mindset, where it's not like you have gone through it, you've bounced back as you were. No, that's a different thing. It's a good one, but it should be that you have gone through it and you have bounced back stronger than you were before. That's the anti-fragile mindset. So it's I will recommend to all entrepreneurs that when you want to be introduced as founder and CEO, nobody has a problem with that. But also be prepared that on the journey, you're going to face hurdles, you're going to face challenges, you're going to face setbacks, you are going to receive a lot of no's, a lot of we are sorries, a lot of disappointment, especially in our context. But at every one of those, hold on to the very reason why you started in the first place. Until that reason is met, then there's room for you to keep going. Until that solution you set out to address is addressed, there's room for you to keep going. Right. So this is my contribution to that effect.
Right. Thank you so much. Starting from today, I'll have the anti-fragile mindset so that whatever I meet and send it in the, I shouldn't be weakened by it, but I should come out stronger. And thank you for mentioning that we need to be innovative as much as we can on how we can solve the challenges that are faced uh, in our businesses. So yeah, even talking to to other people, it's also important because as much as we want to be CEOs, as much as we want to be founders, I mean, we need to be humble enough as well to ask those who we know they are on top of us,
Yeah, that's
because
very important.
once we once we do that, we're going to learn from them as well how, because what we experience, they might have experienced such a thing as well. So talking to the people who maybe they are in the similar business might also be helpful for us. So thank you so much for your contribution. Uh, Let me pass it to my colleague.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So before I ask my question, I would like to read some comments here. So we have that breathing in and out causes me more stress. How do I work on that? I think you've answered. And Miss Ifwa says again, E Ghana. I hear you. Okay. Okay. Hope says, if I'm concerned, your first line is making me to laugh out loud. Okay. Miss Ifwa says again, please, some of us, our body doesn't come home. It leaves with the breathe out. Okay. Hope says, if one concerned, leave to where? Then Buser says, fixing your mind when what stressed you still exists is really hard. Yes, fixing your mind when what stressed you still exists is really hard. I don't know whether you get it. The next one is setting priorities helps a lot and increase focus. Yes, very true. Setting priorities. Ruth says, I love that you highlighted focusing on one task at a time rather than multitasking. So many things at a time. Okay, Miss Efwa says, great submission on entrepreneurship. Thank you very much, our audience. This means that you are following our discussion. So, our next question, now that social media is around us, we struggle with comparison. So, how can young leaders deal with comparison and then pressure from from social media? How can they deal with the pressure that is coming from social media?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, on social media, people show you what they want you to see or know about them. You would agree with me that if you've been active on LinkedIn, the things you post there is not the entirety of your life. It's probably 7 to maybe 30%, if I'm being generous, of what is really going on. In someone else is going to just compare themselves with 30% of the totality of your life, and then push to be like you. No, the fundamentals are not right. So for me, it's important again as young people that we define what success means to us as individuals. That cut across so many fields. For instance, if for me success as far as profession is concerned is being an auditor, then I should get busy studying my accounting course. I should get busy pursuing certifications that would help me realize that success of becoming an auditor. What this means is if someone is busy twerking and is making it in that field, my auditing success does not require me to do that in order to become a success. So I don't pause my pursuit and I'm now doing what someone else is doing because that is what is working for the person. It's rather mine to focus on pursuing the goal that I have set for myself. So even before you make reference to whoever your social media influencer is, define for yourself what success looks like. What do I want to become? What will I look out, or what do I seek to become in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, or in the next 1 year or so? Who are the people that are towing that path or that are making it, who are the people I look up to in that regard. Then this even defines the scope of who you can call your social media influencer. Your social media influencer shouldn't just be because this person is a public figure, is famous. No, it shouldn't be that the person is famous so that person automatically becomes your social media influencer. It should be that this person aligns with what I call success, so I'm willing to follow in on the details of what they do, how they do it, and to learn from them. Even with that in place, there is still a caveat, because remember I started by saying that people only show you on social media what they want you to know or what they want you to believe about them. So don't just take everything line, hook and sinker, hook, line and sinker, sorry, as you see it. Don't just swallow in everything because this person is coming, this post is done by this famous person, so I also have to do it. Another thing that I would want to add is that the people we call successful today, many of them did not begin their journey overnight. They started behind closed doors, when we were not there, when we were not seeing their silent moments, when we were not seeing how much prayer they've had to invest. We were not seeing how much struggle they've gone through. So don't see their success today and dream to become them the next day. It took them time. Most of the genuine successful people in the social media space, it took them time to become who they are, the brand we want to be associated with. That means even you, it will take you time to also become an authentic voice. It will take you time to realize that dream that you have set out for yourself. So for comparison, we cannot take it out completely, because sometimes it is even comparison that urges us to do our best, to do better at what we are doing, right? It's like when you have someone in your class who is always in the first, second, third, you are also challenged that, oh, this time I want to be the second, I want to be the first. So there's room for healthy comparison. But where it becomes, because this person has ticked this milestone, I also have to do it, without any justifiable reason for why you are pursuing that, then it's a misplaced priority. We should relook at how much we learn from our social media influences, and make sure that we are not losing our authenticity, we are not losing our own purpose in following these people without questioning what they do. Again, you yourself, what you post on social media, how true is it to your life when you compare? That also means that the others, what they post, is probably not who they are in entirety. So you can't just peg your life around their social media life alone. I usually will recommend personal mentoring, where you identify someone within your cycle, someone within reach, that can become your personal coach, your personal mentoring you into who you want to become. I really would recommend that. That way is two ways. They're able to listen to your need per time and then give you what works, rather than it being one way of you just watching what the person is posting on social media without them knowing what is on in your life, right? So social media has come to help, but remember, some people are just creating content for money. They can go any extent, so long as they believe that's what will bring the views. So if you are going to build your life on what you see on the social media, then you're not going to be your authentic self. It's important to place a caveat on how much we assimilate from the social media space.
Very well. Thank you very much for such an insightful answer. So you have to define what success means to you as a leader. So before you start comparing, define what success means to you. Thank you very much for establishing that. We really appreciate it. So we move on to the next question.
All right. Thank you so much, Priscilla. And thank you so much, Monica, for responding to that question. I mean, such very important, but we do not really have to consume everything that we see, everything that pops up. We need to be focused and look for things that align with our goals. So I just want to understand um, what role time management can play in order for us to reduce stress and improve time management.
Okay, so as we established earlier, for me, time management is really about spacing out your life so that the passage of time means you are doing what you are supposed to do per that time, right? So it's good that you know what you are supposed to be doing at the time that we have talked about. Now that you know what you are supposed to be doing, you should schedule around it, you should plan around it, put your time to use, contributing to that goal that you need to achieve, right? So what it means is that you should have a to-do list to manage your time. You know that today I'm setting out to achieve this, that. Sometimes you might not take all the things you set out to do, but the mere fact that you didn't even take it today will tell you what you should prioritize tomorrow. Probably if it is urgent, if it must be done but you couldn't do it today, then it becomes the priority for tomorrow's to-do list, right? So practically, it's important that you have a to-do list that is helping you know that this time I'm supposed to be here, that time I'm supposed to be there. So am I here? Am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? The day has ended. Have I done the things that I set out to do? Time management is really as simple as that. But to be able to do your to do list even means that you are planning ahead. So you know that within a day, I'm supposed to do this. That's planning ahead. So you have a list of things to focus on as the day goes by. So that also means that you know what to prioritize, and so you won't do too many things at a go. It is like I said earlier, I said that multitasking actually takes us more time than we think. So when you have listed the things that you are supposed to be doing in a day, it's recommended that it's in chronological order, depending on which ones need your immediate attention and which one can be done at a later time. With that in place, you already have a chronology to follow, so you won't end up doing all of them together as a lump sum, and it will take you so much time because you have to be switching between activities. You are doing this, you pause, you come and do this, you come back, you have to start again, you do that. So one of the recommended strategies for effective time management is planning, having a to-do list so that the time doesn't go by and you are now thinking, oh, I wish I had done this, or no. So have a to-do list. It's as practical as that.
All right. Thank you so much for the great insight. I mean, the to-do list is really important, and yeah, it helps one life to be organized. Uh, yeah. I think we'll go to the next question, and Priscilla, you may take it.
Yeah, so I agree. Multitasking, it takes more time. You have to think of this, think of that. Yes, it's true. So we are thinking of how to rest our mental health. So my question is, how can a young person balance ambition with rest and mental well-being? How is it possible?
Ambition, rest, mental well-being, all of these are necessities if life is going to be lived to the maximum. You need to have your ambitions set right, you need to rest, and you need to be mentally fit in order to fulfill that ambition. So I mentioned earlier that rest is one of the windows that allow us to freshen up, that allow us to wake up refreshed and more energized to approach life even better than we did before. This should sit with all of us that it's a necessity. However, the duration given to it is where we should pay attention to. Have enough rest. It's recommended that 7 hours of rest is needed each day. So if that is what works for you, stick to that. It is also recommended that, again by Robin Sharma, if I remember well, that beyond 9 hours of rest, it's not healthy for anybody. So to be resting beyond 9 hours a day, you can do the calculations and see how much of your life or how much of your productive time you are letting go loosely. So that recommended window is acceptable. I know there are realistically times where we cannot sleep for 7 hours because we have other things to catch up with, but these should be once or one-offs. This should be one-offs rather than becoming a lifestyle where uh, in a whole month you've not rested for even 4 hours a day. Well, I don't have too much scientific data to quote in respect of this, but from my personal observation, resting really even boosts your productivity. When you rest, you're able to come back re-energized, stronger to do what you're supposed to do. So we should treat it as a necessity. We should treat mental wellness as a necessity and our ambitions as a necessity. When we consider all these three necessities, we're able to allocate the time that we have to them so that we don't delegate any, we don't relegate any, I mean, we don't push any aside that this is not important. Look, let ambition be aside. I want to rest all 24 hours a day. Or let rest be like aside. I want to work 24-hour economy, or I want to work around the clock, right? No, all of this should be treated as a necessity, which means that on a daily basis, we factor time for all three of them, and that gives us a healthy balance to keep showing up stronger, more energized, and refreshed.
Thank you very much. So that means you are supposed to balance all of them. Make sure that one is no more than the other. That is very good. Yes, I think I'll try that. You can't rest for 9 hours. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think I've learned something. So the next question, Precious, are you there? Okay. Then the next question is, so what is one daily habit that you can recommend to us for building long-term emotional resilience? Is there a habit you can recommend for us so that we are not overwhelmed all the time? We'll be emotionally resilient.
Well, so that you are not overwhelmed all the time, what I'll recommend is what I recommended earlier: pacing out your life so that you do what matters per time. You don't lump everything together and you're juggling between different tasks at a time. So, pace out your life, pace out the activities that you need to get done in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. Pace that out properly and prioritize what needs attention most. And another thing, because I think I heard you mention a habit to recommend. One thing that I would also recommend from personal experience is reading. Sometimes reading and just finding out that information for yourself brings you to so much awareness that you're like, oh, had this existed all this while, I wish I knew it earlier, right? So the mere fact that you have discovered it would keep you accountable, trying to do your best to put that into practice. But if you don't know it exists, how are you even going to practice it in the first place? So as much as it's possible, get yourself a book. It could be on self development, it could be on different themes, even under the self development. It could be fiction, it could be non fiction, whatever works best for you. Read, feature it as one of the necessities to do in a day, even if not in a day. fine in a week, find some time to read something that would nourish you. And I'm not really or necessarily talking about the news as we know it in Ghana, but I'm talking about a refined uh, publication, an article, a published book from your favorite artists. The list is tall, but something that will really nourish you, and you will know that I have learned from it, right? That's really one of the habits that has personal time to know things that are otherwise. So pace out your life, couple with reading, you get to know better, and you get to even manage your life better as you read.
Okay, thank you. Pace up your life. Read. Read. Find something to read. It helps. It helps with you releasing stress and not being emotionally overwhelmed. Very well. Thank you. So, our last question is, how can mindfulness shape the future of leadership? How can you being mindful shape leadership?
Okay. So
Is that even possible?
it's very possible, right? And for leadership and mindfulness is quite a dicey thing I would want to mention, because as a leader you are expected to have foresight even before the thing happens. But here we are saying that live in the present, right? Now, I foresight and anxiety are not the same thing. Foresight means that you are looking at the noun, and based on the noun, you are saying that these are the possibilities, or these are the options that could be thrown at us in the future. So, because of the noun, you are preparing for it. And that's not the same as anxiety. Anxiety is rooted in fear, anxiety is rooted in doubt, anxiety is rooted in insecurity. Now, where mindfulness comes in, or where mindfulness shapes leadership, is where you know you are fully aware, you are fully present, you are paying attention to the details of what is going on now. And based on that, you are able to predict what is likely to happen. So for me, mindfulness is rather a plus for us as leaders, so that our predictions have a premise that, okay, based on what is happening right now, this is the predicted outcome of what is happening right now. So therefore, we have to put this and that measure in place in preparation for the predicted outcome in view, right? So mindfulness makes leaders more emotionally intelligent, because you are present with even the people you are leading. You know that this is what is needed per time. This is what we are supposed to be focusing our energy on as a team per time. This is what we are supposed to be doing per time. With that in place, you can now know what to where to navigate next, because you have mastered the present. But if you skip the present and we are just over indexing on the future, what will happen in the future, then we are not setting the right foundation for even the future that is in view, because the tomorrow is informed by today, right? So mindfulness makes leaders more emotionally intelligent. It also gives you room to be calm under pressure, because leadership comes with pressure. The pressure to meet the demands of your duty, the need to even get people agreeing to what you are supposed to be doing per time. That can be overwhelming sometimes. But the mere fact that you are present also means that you can pay attention to your followers. Do they have a specific need I'm supposed to be responding to that will help them better contribute to our overall goal? So mindfulness is key to leadership. It's important that we pay attention to what is going on. We are emotionally aware. Our mental well-being is in place, so that we can now lead the people under us towards the overall goal that we set out to achieve. So for me, the two are hand in hand. They are complementary. They go together.
Wow. Wow. I'm amazed. Thank you. Thank you very much for such an insightful response. So, the tomorrow is informed by today, and mindfulness is key. You have to be mindful to be calm under pressure. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. So, at this point, if you have a question, you can drop it in the comment section. So I'll read some of the comments we have. So, Mr. Fuad says, we don't always see the sacrifices and the behind the scenes. I think this was during the social media comparison. Yeah. We don't always see the sacrifices and behind the scenes, yes. Others too is just packaging. Be proud of your journey. Yes, that is very true. And Biza says exactly. Yes. I think that's the comment we have. So, Miss Monica, I have a question that I would want to ask. So, if someone is going to take something from this session, what should it be? One lesson that someone should take from this session we've just had. What do you think that the person should take?
Okay, one lesson that I would wish we all walk out of this session with is the fact that the noun is essential because it is what becomes our past, and the noun is also what informs our future. So let's not skip the noun. A lot of the time, we are so focused on what we did in the past that is now haunting us, causing us trouble. And then the other side is we are so focused on the future. What if? How about? And all of that. But if we can focus on the now and do it so well to the best of our ability, it means that our past would have been an intentional past that we will make reference to and say, if not that I took this decision in the present, I wouldn't have be had this past, right? And then the future, which the now will also land us, we will be proud of it because we maximize the now. So be present with yourself, accept your emotions, accept your current stage, and then when the acceptance is in place, you can now work towards the future that you envision. And once you are working towards that in the now, it eventually becomes the past that you are proud of. That's basically what mindfulness is. Don't walk through life on autopilot. You are not present. Your things are just running independent of your awareness. Rather, be present with yourself. Focus on what you are doing. Focus on understanding yourself, getting to know who you are really, beyond the title, beyond the fact that you are a student and you are studying this course, that course. Who are you? What is your present need? Have you taken time to realize that? Have you taken time to observe what works best for you? This cuts across so many fields. Sometimes a certain type of dress will look beautiful on someone, but when you order the same thing by the same manufacturer, same fabric, same color, you will look very odd in it because this does not it just doesn't sit well on your body, right? So let's get authentic with ourselves, maximizing the now, getting to know who we are, and then making the most of the moment while it's still day. And again, don't forget to pace out your life. Don't wait until last minute and you are now trying to push everything through the 1 minute window that you have. No, let's pace out life, have enough rest, get to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. And the future is certainly going to be bright. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Miss Amable. We really appreciate this session. Your insights and responses, it was very amazing. And personally, I've learned a lot. And I think I would have to do a lot of changes, which would help, especially with the breathing in, breathing out, and scanning my body. So the now is what becomes the past and what informs our future. So we have to focus on the now and be mindful. When we are mindful, we are calm. Thank you very much for that. Jennifer says, thank you, Triple A, for organizing this event. I've learned a lot. My key takeaway is get a to do list, focus on one task at a time rather than multitasking, be authentic. Very good. Jennifer, thank you very much. It means you were listening. And thank you for that. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Precious, are you around? Okay, that's fine. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much, Miss Monica, for such an insightful and impactful session. We truly appreciate you for taking the time to share your knowledge and experiences with us. Today's discussion has reminded us that leadership is not just about achievement and productivity, but it is also about self-awareness, mental your mental well-being, balancing resilience, emotional well-being. We learned that mindfulness can help young people manage stress, improve focus, make better decisions, and maintain healthy habits while navigating academic and entrepreneurial responsibilities. Thank you. On behalf of the AAA Foundation and the WeRise project, we sincerely thank you for adding value to this session. Thank you as well to everyone who joined us today. Your presence and participation made this session meaningful. We hope you leave today feeling encouraged, empowered, and better equipped in managing pressure in healthier ways. So, before we end this session, on the 25th of May, we have another session titled Building Healthy Boundaries. Building healthy boundaries. So make a date with us and don't forget, it would be a wonderful session. Don't forget to join us. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you to the Triple Foundation.
Thank you as well. Bye.